This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I can.
Hello.
Yes, can
Hello.
you just stop? Okay, fine, fine. Yeah, I can able to listen you.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's just start today's session. As we were discussing earlier, it was like about relationships in Power BI. So, okay, yesterday have you, hands on anything like whatever I've discussed? Okay. So, as usual, go to data and SQL Server and take the database. Let me take two first, and I'll explain what exactly the others as well. So now we are loading two tables called table actor and table cast via import mode. And if you go to the modeling or relationships tab, now we have two tables. What happens in general is Power BI detects relationships between the tables. If not, we can also make relationships. Let's say now I'm in the relationships tab. Now I am aware already. Like if I go to the modeling, sorry, if I go to the table, now I see there is something called actor ID and cast actor ID. There is something the common fields I've seen between these tables. What I can do is I can manually drag and drop relationships on these tables, or if Power BI able to detect, it will detect automatically. If not, I have to go to any of these tables and drag the specific column from one table and other table. This is how we build relationships between two tables. Once when we see the relationship, we have three different types of relations. Now, for now, I have just taken actor ID and actor ID because I am aware that we have some relationship between these two columns. By default, we have these many to one to many, one to one, and many to many. And again, there is something called single and both. We'll see what many to one, one to one means. Like, however, dimensions and facts we usually call in data warehouse and in database concepts. Like dimension tables are the primary key tables or lookup tables, and fact tables are foreign key tables where we have many values. Like the dimension tables usually have the unique values, which is one side values, and fact tables or the foreign key tables will have multiple values. That is what one to many or many to one. Here in this example, table actor, in this table actor, I have unique values for the actor. That is why we are showing one here. And asterisk star, whatever we are seeing here is many. It means in the table tbl cast, we have multiple values for the cast actor ID. That is what this one and many. And you can see the arrow mark is passing from this table to this table. It means it is the filter context, like how the filter is passing. See, now the filter is flowing from this table to this table. That is what arrow mark. We can also change this. Let me that is the cardinality, whatever we are going to set, that will be the final. Now by default it is one to many. Let's say I can just take one to one. It will throw the cardinality you selected is not valid for relationship. It means internally Power BI detects there is a relationship which is called one to many. We cannot set that as one to one. That is what it means. If I try to go and set many to one, sorry, one to many, again it will show it is not valid for relationship. That is what this means, because many to one is already set, which is many table in the right side and one table at the left side. And again something called many to many. It means even in the right side table or left side table, if you have multiple values, if you have duplicate values in one table, similarly the same repetitive values in a table B, then we call as many to many. Then the symbol would be asterisk to asterisk, like star star. We'll be seeing all this. We'll be seeing all this. So for now, just remember we have 4 different relationships in Power BI. That is based on the data we are dealing with. Power BI is going to detect them automatically. If not, we have to go here and drag the whatever the records to other tables to establish relations. And again, we have something called cross filter direction. It means this arrow mark. How the filter is passing from one table to other table. Here from table actor, a filter is passing to table class. Now let me take multiple tables and just deleting these tables.
Only quick question.
Yeah.
So we are trying to build the relationships between the tables. You said
Mm-hmm.
right when you are trying to do like many to one, it didn't accept.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
will that?
it tracks it, but again, let me show. Let me take again. Yeah. Please go. Please go. Please ask your question.
No, I was thinking like it didn't accept. So will it validate first, irrespective of what we selected? You know, even if we selected the wrong thing, will it
Mm-hmm. Yes, it
prompt us?
validates. It validates.
Okay, so we can do, whatever we want. It's like it will validate whether it's, we are doing the
Valid or
right.
not, it will validate. Yes, it will validate.
Okay, got it.
Let me take others and I'll show. I'm taking all the tables from this table, this database. Now see, by default, Power BI detects relationships between these tables. Everything um, one to many. This is the central fact table. These are all the dimension table, which makes as star schema. Generally, when dealing with the relationships in Power BI, it is advisable to make the data looks like a star schema model, because if you have such thing, it will be very easy for the slice and dice and for filtering and to avoid the ambiguity. There is something called subtle dependency, which we also call ambiguity. Like in SQL Server, for example, if you're joining or two tables, if we didn't mention from which table we need to take the specific column, for example, let's say we have the same column from ID, different tables. If you didn't specify the any from which table we have to take the column, then there will be certain thing called ambiguity. I think you may heard of this. What is ambiguity? Similarly, in Power BI also we have something called ambiguity, where we need to specify the correct relationship between the tables. The flow of the data from this table to this table should be in a in a proper manner. If not, Power BI doesn't understand from where the record should be taken, from where I should take the record. I will show in some time like how that works. So this is by default Power BI detects relationship between these two tables. Let me remove this relation, and I can add again whatever. I mean, we can just add. By default it will select one to many. If I go here again, whatever you're asking was one to many, select. It is saying the cardinality is selected is not valid for relationship. But again, let's say the table whatever I've taken at the top, like TBL film and TBL country. Let's say if I take the country table or film table here. Okay, first let me do this.
So it Power BI, like it identified which table is the fact table and which is the dimensions also by itself.
Yes, by itself it will identify. So to see all at glance, here we have something called manage relationships at the top in the more home tab. If you go here, there is something called auto detect. If you click on auto detect, let me show that. If you click on auto detect, it will search for relationships underlyingly in the database and will establish the found 3 new relationships. These 3 new relationship it was automatically found. For example, if I don't want relationships between the tables, I can see now a new relationship is found between these two tables, because earlier it was not there. That is how we can make Power BI to detect relationships between these tables if it is not directly from the SQL Server. Similarly, if I want to delete here also, we can just add a new by ourselves, like based on the table whatever we are selecting. We can select the table here, and we can select one more table. Here we can define manually the relationships if you click on new. And again, we have something called edit. This is what I was mean. Like if you just click on this line whatever, and if you go here and in under manage relationships, if you click on edit, both will take to the same place. Here we are just editing the relationship, whether it is many to one or one to one or something like that. If it supports, it will automatically take that. If it not, it won't. It will throw warning or error. But let's say if I'm deleting this relationship, sorry, I'm
So
deleting
by
this.
default, Power BI creates all these relationships. We can blindly follow
No,
it.
no, no, no,
Not
no, 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 no. Not by default. The thing is, whatever the relationships we have in the database. See now in my SSMS, if I see this is the dimension, this is the primary key table, this is the foreign key table. So what it will do is whatever the relationships we have by default in the database, it will take everything. That is why it is showing here.
okay.
That is how it works. But even if you take any, like say if you are taking data from any files also, if we have, if by default it won't create in relationships in the files and all, we have to make them relationship manually, or we have to go here. If you click on this auto direct, what it will do is it will just verify the key column names between the tables. It will just verify the name of the columns between two tables. Based on the key column names, if something is matches, it will be creating relationship. If not, we have to do by default. Yes, Power BI most of the times it will detects automatically the relationship between the tables. Now let's say we have this for TBL film and TBL country, there is no relationship. Let me go and create new TBL country and TBL film. I have to select the key column here. Now it is not selected. It is the country ID is here. Film country ID and country ID. Here you can select menu to one. But now it is not accepting. Let me take here TBL film and here TBL country and take the country ID and film country ID. Now one too many. Again it's not accepting, because whatever the things we are selecting, I mean the relationship we are selecting, by default it is automatically taking whether it is valid or not. You see my point?
So when you say many to one, is it the many is referring to the number of columns, and is it something
No,
like that?
many refers to data. Many refers to data. See, how we usually it works is in our SQL Server, we have something called primary key tables. In the primary key tables, what we have just they have 10 records. Like each have one unique data. Like one means something, two means something. Where 1, 2, 3 are primary keys, three means something, something like that. But in the foreign key tables, what we do, we are referring them in many rows. Like the one can be repetitive for many records. Similarly, the two can be repetitive for many records. Here, one to many means one unique record in this table, there are many records in the other table. That is a one to many or many to one works.
Okay, got it.
You got it? Oh, like that it works. So this is one thing, and there is something called bidirectional cross filtering. I mean, if you, this is a cross filter direction. If you click on both, see the arrow mark changes. It is, there are two arrow marks. Earlier it was only one because have make the direction